We begin on a sad note. The death toll in the Mankrong accident has risen to 11. The 11th person died at the Suhum Government Hospital this morning, according to hospital officials. A Kia Grand Bird bus with registration number GN6600-17 with passengers on board a Kumasi-Accra-bound road on reaching a section of the road at Mankrong near Suhum overtook a leading car without observing traffic from the opposite direction and crashed head-on with another Kia Grand Bird bus numbered GS 835-16 coming from Aflao to Kumasi. Some 29 occupants of the bus who got injured were rushed to Suhum Government Hospital, while 2 were sent to the Providence Hospital for treatment. Bodies of the deceased have been deposited at Suhum Government Hospital morgue for identification and preservation. Assistant Chief Fire Officer Mr. Samuel Sapon Mensah is the Eastern Regional Commander of the Ghana Fire Service.
Aircraft Airways. Suhum fire engine was here at 0502 hours, and they realized they couldn't cope with the situation. So they called the Sawam and Kofuda substation. Myself, I arrived at this place around 7:05 hours. At the moment, you can't tell the number of deaths, the number of injured. But the provisional information we have at the moment is that 10 people are dead. If we conveyed to some hospital mortuary.
The medical superintendent of the Suhum Government Hospital, Dr. Emmanuel Ashong, says most victims suffered head injuries. He blames poor visibility for the crash. He's pushing for street lights on the Accra-Kumasi stretch.
We can confirm at least one death. It was a very serious accident. Most of them are dead injuries, so I don't know whether it was a collision between the two cars. Most of them are dead injuries and fractures. We've managed to stabilize most of them. We prefer the two to regional hospital in St. Joseph. And majority of the cases we can manage at our facility. That stretch, and more so, it's not, there are no big lights on that stretch. And even during the time when we are driving on that road, if you are not careful, because you see, and if you are overtaking and you are not careful, the oncoming car can create problems for the driver. So, but that particular stretch, something must be done on that road.
Now, survivors of this particular accident have been speaking to Joy News' Maxwell Kudeko.
If you take my but you can all of an accident, who they see we are panya, who they see. How many see? Around 5, 4 something 5 more.
Now then I'll see what that
men die like miti that seat no so me butu miti me sha kano atene akoshen room. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was overtaking or what. The driver no overtaking, I don't know. All of a sudden. Oh, no car opera pa.
Ona mada. Tiwa mi manu ana kan ni ka bi ayan tofo. Pemi ana musa mani beti mo na meta sita se. Ai. Ba cho mi firu kuma sa mi kwa kra. No wada.
Those were some survivors of that accident telling Maxwell Kudeko that most of them did not see how the accident occurred. And the next thing they knew, one thing they know, they're sitting in a car. Next thing they know, they're lying on the ground. Now, Joy News has information. The Suhum Government Hospital is choked. Hospital officials are currently transferring some of the cases to the regional hospital and the St. Joseph Hospital in Koforidua. Let's go onto the phone and speak with correspondent Kofi Siao with the latest on the beat. Hello, Kofi. What's the current situation in Koforidua?
I'm currently at the Suhum police station. First, I went to the Suhum Government Hospital where health authorities or officials were seen attending to the accident victims. And I can say or tell you that as we speak, 11 have been confirmed dead in the morning, 10 died on the spot. Just about hitting midday, one person has also died at the accident and emergency unit of the Sohum government hospital. So the death toll now has risen from 10 to 11. And when you come here at the Sohum police station, there are relatives and families of, the accident victims. They are here to find out exactly what is happening. The doctor at the hospital tells me that some of the situation of some of the victims are so severe that they have to rush them to Koforidua Regional Hospital and the St. Joseph Hospital for proper medical attention. So I can tell you that here at the hospital and the police station, family members and friends are here to, see to it that their people are attended to very well.
How are they reacting to what has happened, these family members and loved ones?
Well, they are in a shock. They are in a shock. Some of them said they traveled all the way from Kumasi to this place. Others are also saying they came from Accra, and that they heard the news of the accident on radio and TV. So they had to come because they weren't sure. It was their family members who had told them they were traveling and got themselves involved in the accident. So they came here to find out exactly what is happening. And some, indeed confirmed to me that their family members and friends are part of the whole accident. And some also said they came pointed because they didn't find their family members as part of the accident.
Thank you very much, Kofi Siao, for that report. Now, away from that issue, an Accra High Court has handed the Attorney General Gloria Ekufu 7 days to give former COCOBOD CEO Dr. Stephen Opuni evidence against him in the case of causing financial loss to the state. Businessman Sedi Agong is also to receive same as well as that against his company Agricult Ghana Limited. For more than a month, the court ceased hearing the matter following an application made by lawyers for Dr. Opuni demanding access to all documents in the possession of the state prosecutors, including those that may not be tendered in as evidence. That matter has been settled now by the Supreme Court, and so the Attorney General has asked them, the judge has asked the Attorney General to hand the evidence to Dr. Opuni's lawyers. Joseph Akablame has more.
For more than a month, the court ceased hearing the matter following an application made by lawyers for Dr. Opuni demanding access to all documents in the possession of state prosecutors, including those that they may not use as evidence. This included all witness statements of Dr. Opuni and Seidu Agongo, all prosecution witness statements, letters written by COCOBOD during the tenure of Dr. Opuni, all COCOBOD fertilizer contracts, among others. The AG opposed this request, forcing the trial to be put on hold as it awaited a judgment from the Supreme Court on the same matter referred to it by the Accra High Court, hearing the case of former NCA top officials. In that case, the defense lawyers had also demanded access to all documents with the trial judge, referring the matter to the Supreme Court. The Apex Court on June 7 ruled that accused persons are entitled to have access to all documents. Trial Judge Justice Clemens Onyenuga on Monday said he was awaiting a certified copy of the Apex Court decision in order to give his ruling. This gave life to that ruling as he said the AG must file all documents within 7 days. He sounded a note of caution as he stated that he will not countenance any needless delays. The judge fixed July 4 as the date for trial to commence, with the AG expected to call a first witness to mount the box.
Now, elsewhere, the Sanerigu Municipal Assembly in the Northern Region say they are prioritizing improving on health infrastructure in hard-to-reach communities in the municipality to remedy the perennial cycle of pregnant women traveling long distances in bumpy rides on a motor tricycle to neighboring Tamale to seek health care. Municipal Chief Executive for the area, Mahama Idrisi, said she said this when Mariam Idrisu, said this when she inaugurated a chips compound in Birimani, a farming community in the municipality.
Birimani is a farming community in the Sanerigu municipality in the northern region, with a population of over 1,000. It is deprived of clean, safe water and toilet facilities. School children in the community study under weak school infrastructure with inadequate classroom furniture. Residents in this community for some time now travel long distances in accessing healthcare delivery. It is even worse in the rainy season where flood waters cut them off from the immediate health center due to bad roads there. To remedy the situation, the Municipal Assembly inaugurated a CHIPS compound in the community started in 2014 to bring health delivery closer to households and allow them make the most productive use of their time. The CHIPS compound will have a station nurse to attend to patients. Municipal Chief Executive for the area, Mariam Idrisu, said they are prioritizing health infrastructure in the municipality, started by his predecessor to bring health delivery closer to communities.
So dear to the heart of the people, even though as it started, the total cost of the project is about 95,232 Ghana cedis. And it was paid, I think about 25% of it was paid. So if you think that there's no need for continuity and abandon this project and go to another community, let's say Balai, to start a new project, those people will be benefiting all right. But what happens to the people of Burma? So we think there's the need for us to continue by paying off the contractor and commissioning the project for the people to benefit from it, instead of saying that we should abandon and go and start a project. We know how committed His Excellency, the President of the Republic, is towards the health of our people. So there's the need for each and every one of us to also be committed towards the needs of our people, but not just putting up projects where there are no need for them. So that was how come we have stalled our own priority projects and decided to pay off the contractor so that the people of Burma can benefit from this facility. The health status of the people will improve so that it will go a long way to prevent maternal mortality, child mortality, and other morbidities in the community. So in the whole, let us appreciate the government of the day for showing his commitment towards continuity of projects in our municipality.
The CHIPS model brings healthcare directly to local communities in remote areas by increasing access to use of health services at the community level to promote universal health coverage. Hashmin Mohammed reporting for Joy News from Brimani.
Now, to promote the delivery of healthy food for all, a group of chefs from across the world have put together a toolkit it says should guide people on how to better manage food. The Chefs Manifesto Network aims to share best cooking practices to ensure people eat healthy food always. For the chefs, it is their way of contributing to the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals on food and nutrition. Addressing the media as the Eat Stockholm Food Forum, London chef Arthur Potts Dawson said every part of an ingredient is useful.
The food waste issue, it's number 4 in the Chef's Manifesto. And it is, we as chefs have committed to valuing the natural resources that we use as chefs in our kitchens, and we actively aim to reduce waste in the kitchen. And we do that in a number of different ways: separating and monitoring, planning the dishes properly, using up the product, not throwing anything away, pickling it, salting it, preserving it. Someone was talking last night about, who was that conversation? There was someone who had mushrooms that were 2 years old, and they took the mushroom root and made it into ice cream. So I mean, chefs can work in so many completely wacky ways. So it's actively engaged by chefs anyway, all over the world, definitely. But one of the things that I want to say is a conversation we can have as chefs. Throwing food away is a crime. Throwing vegetables and fruit away should be a crime. But as soon as you move up the complex channel of food and you get into throwing away fish and meat If you take a fish out of its natural environment and it's sacrificed for you to eat it, and it goes all the way up through the chain, it's refrigerated, it's logistically moved, it's prepared, it's cooked, and thrown away, it should be made a double crime. Beef, if you're producing beef, which is destroying the planet, and it's made, and thrown away, it should be made into a crime. So I think it will be a crime in the future, but right now, it's acceptable. It's not good enough.
Still watching Joy News today. I am Daniel Daze. Still up ahead in the bulletin, we'll have Joy News agenda and we'll continue our series on Zongo development as we move to the northern region town of Bolgatanga, where correspondent Albert Sowi reports there's currently nothing on the ground to show that government is committed to implementing its policy on Zongo development. And the World Cup tournament begins tomorrow. How set are participating teams? We'll get talking right here, even as the votes to determine who hosts the competition in 2026 is currently underway. Remember, there's also showbiz news coming up a bit later in the bulletin. Stay with us. This is Joy News today. Thanks for staying with us. Now, when we think about Snapchat, very often what comes to mind is people having fun and documenting their lifestyles. But now, new media experts are advocating journalists to use Snapchat as a way of sourcing information. Joy News' Arba Kumsen, who is attending the Global Media Forum in Bonn, Germany, has more.
As you know, social media is a source of news, although it differs from traditional sourcing of news in that it is mostly unverified information, but it's increasingly becoming a popular source of information. So as the Global Media Forum wraps up today in Bonn, there have been several workshops on data journalism and online engagements. One of them that I participated in was about how we'll be telling our stories in 2020 and beyond, focusing on social media formats of tomorrow. This session was led by Sumaya Omar, who says Snapchat is a great tool for journalism, and she joins me. You were talking about how we can use Snapchat as a journalistic tool. How can we do that?
So there's a number of ways that we can use it, starting with social discovery. So on Snapchat, you'll see a tool called Snap Maps, and it's really a God's eye view on what's happening around the world in terms of video uploads and what people are uploading onto Snapchat. And we can use that as a trigger point for breaking news and for other things that are happening. And it's a really good social discovery tool. For me, it's one of the most interesting and exciting journalistic tools that I see out there right now. In terms of social publishing, we use Snapchat. Our audiences are not necessarily on Snapchat, and so it's not as interesting to us as a distribution tool as it is a content creation tool. So we are using the technology, the amazing technology that's already built into apps like Snapchat and Instagram Stories, and we're using it to create content which we then repurpose and distribute across all of our platforms, whether it be Facebook, whether it be a normal Instagram feed, whether it be a TV package or something for our website. So we're really using it as a content creation tool. And then the third piece of the puzzle is using it as engagement, as an engagement tool. So even if you don't have, you can easily create hype around other content that you have on your website or on your television channels or radio, and you can create hype on these channels to then refer people back to your other assets. So really it's about social discovery, social publishing, and social engagement.
Expect more stories from the Global Media Conference in Bonn, Germany, where Arba Kumsen and Manasseh Azura-Wuni are in attendance. Let's talk about soccer now, because US, Canada, and Mexico, the United North American bid, has won the vote to host the 2026 World Cup. We'll be speaking to Gary L. Smith in a moment, because the World Cup for this year begins in less than 24 hours. Gary is joining us via Skype. Gary, how far is preparation in Russia for this year's World Cup?
Well, according to those who are there, it is better than in Brazil because 4 years ago by this time, there were a couple of states new things to be fixed, but in terms of infrastructure, things are 90% ready according to the information we are getting.
Let's talk about this World Cup bid then that the US, Canada and Mexico has won, because going into the election, we found that there was an argument over whether this is a political vote or this is about soccer. What do you think tipped the scales for the North American bid?
As we have learned in Ghana the past 2 weeks, we never ever separate sport and politics. So it is a combination of both. Example, overnight, when Donald Trump was the North Korean historic meeting with the North Korean United States, I'm told he made calls to several African and Asian countries and reminded them that they have to vote for the US because of some trade deals that they have to do. Also understand that the United States offered improved deals in other areas of the country. So their central government told them to vote for the United States. In the end, the United bid 67% of the vote. Morocco won 33%. For those who get none of the votes and those who are so.
Right, Gary, thank you very much for that update on this issue. We must apologize for the poor quality of that Skype call, but just a bit of information to add there. We understand that Ghana's seat was vacant in that election for the hosts of World Cup 2026. As you know, with the issues we have with our Ghana Football Association, we were unable to be represented in that election. Let's do Joy News agenda now and go to Bolgatanga in the Upper East region. Now, residents of the Zongo in Bolga are hopeful their lives will improve with government's Zongo development policy, despite the fact that no projects have started on the ground. For our Joy News agenda today, Upper East correspondent Albert Sori returns to Bolga Zongo and reports that apart from some consultative meetings held about 2 months ago between the Minister for Inner Cities and Zongo Development and some leaders of the community, nothing is on the ground to show that government is committed to implementing the policy there.
Lack of access roads, choked drains, unemployment and poor education were the major problems residents of Bolga Zongo wanted the government to help them tackle when Joy News last visited the community in January this year. Today, I return to the community and find that nothing has changed. Access roads is still number one on the list of priorities as far as the assemblyman for the area, Haj Razak Mohammed, is concerned.
And today you could see that people have done some extensions and nobody, authorities are not asking them to demolish them. And as a result, you do not have access to. Recently, I will tell you, there had been a fire outbreak here and it was serious. The room was the whole thing was burnt down because the fire tender couldn't access the place. And
this gutter here is a major drain running through Bolga Zongo. Residents complain that it was poorly constructed and therefore causes a lot of flooding during the rainy seasons. The rains have already started for this year, so the assemblyman is worried.
In Zongo, the structures that are being put up by the people of the Zongo community is such that we do not have access road. We do not have good drainage systems. And anytime, it rains, we find it very, very difficult.
Choked drains and poor sanitation was also a concern raised by many residents we interviewed here during our last visit. The situation remains the same, if not worse. While I was busy concentrating on my camera, I stepped on this stinking animal excreta on the edge of the gutter. Imoro Isaka is an electronics repairman whose shop is very close to the drain.
The gutter, if rain comes, it will full and come out here. And this gutter is started from some place. I think if they come and then go over there and start the gutter there and build the gutter and come and join into this one, I think it will help.
He says the problems of the community are too many and he is afraid that government may fail to prioritize them because for him, the consultations being done with regard to the needs of the area are not broad enough.
What we are pleading in the Zongo minister is he should come back and look at Bolga Zongos. It's not one Zongo. We have about 2 or 3 Zongos in Bolga here. But all of them, if you enter there, you know that we don't have access to roads. Just like I was saying, fire service coming to do their service, they can't get access to any of the houses. And more to the point, that we don't have any good schools. We don't have clinics. And the youth, we don't have jobs. We don't have jobs. And this funds is about helping us. If like they come and engage with the youth, I think we will tell them what we need. But if they come, they will do their own thing and they will go. Later we will hear that they are building pitch.
Isake's views are echoed by Ahmed Abubakar, an automobile electrician here at Bolga Zongo.
They didn't make any gutter whereby it will come into the big gutter. You understand? So when it rains or when they are pouring water away, it's also all just lying at a place. It doesn't run. So I think when we get that, the roads and the gutters that will go into the big gutter, it will help us a lot.
Abubakar is an opinion leader and a mentor to many youth here at Bolga Zongo, sometimes called Sabon Zongo.
Now it's day 3 of the National Science and Maths Quiz happening live at the University of Ghana Business School. Joy News' Maxwell Agbagba has been following the contest keenly and brings us this interaction from the grounds.
What's your name?
Kopso Gloria.
Okay, Gloria, can you tell us, what did you pick, from the mentorship session?
Okay, actually, I learned that we shouldn't give up an opportunity on improving on our skills, even though maybe we can't get some opportunities, but we can strive harder.
You can strive harder?
Yeah.
Wow. What do you want to do in future?
I want to be a pharmacist.
You want to be a pharmacist? Dad and mom, they want you to be a pharmacist? Or they want you to do something else?
No, my parents don't decide for me.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't know my abilities very well.
Whoa.
I know myself better, so.
Okay, but have they made any suggestions?
No, please.
They've not made any suggestions?
No, please.
Okay, so you're working hard to become a pharmacist?
Yes, please.
Interesting. What's your name?
Justine Dagadu.
Justine Dagadu. Justine, what did you pick from the mentorship session?
I really enjoyed the mentorship session because it really inspired me, and I learned from it that I'm to believe in myself, that whatever that I aspire to do or I aspire for, I can aim at it. From his life story, he was like, when he was in SHS, he was not really that good, but now he's a family doctor and he's making it. So it doesn't mean that if you are facing certain problems now, you can make it. You just have to be determined, aspire, and continue to reach higher. That's what I mean.
What do you want to do in future?
I want to be a neurosurgeon.
A neurosurgeon?
Yeah.
Whoa. Your parents want you to be a neurosurgeon, or they want you to be something else?
No, my parents are cool with me being a neurosurgeon.
Okay.
They just want me to go in for what I want.
Okay.
What I feel comfortable with.
Okay. Wow. He says he started dissecting animals at a very young age because of what he wanted to do. So you want to become a neurosurgeon. What have you started doing now? You started reading big books, encyclopedias?
Not actually big books, but I'm really inspired by the mechanism of the brain. So anything brainy, anything that has to do with the brain, I feel interested. So I read a lot.
You mean anything that has to do with a medulla oblongata?
Yes, stuff like that.
Okay, interesting. Now, finally, what did you pick from the mentorship session?
Okay, I learned that there's a difference between being a man or woman of success and being a man or woman of value. And I've learned that I have to believe in myself, and even if people don't agree with me or something, I should learn to stand alone if that's what I believe in, and I should be confident in the things that I'll do or I want to do. And yeah.
Okay, what do you want to do in the future?
I want to be a doctor.
You want to be a doctor? Whoa. Your parents want you to be a doctor, or they want you to be something else?
Yes. I actually wanted to do pharmacy, but my parents want me to do medicine.
Okay.
But I believe I can do both things if I believe in myself.
Okay. I want to say a big thank you to you for talking to us. In fact, you've inspired me this morning. Thanks so much for talking to us. Okay, so you just heard from the students from Kita Secondary School. They were inside of the auditorium during the mentorship session, and you heard all that they had to say about what they picked up. They are determined to follow their dreams, to pursue their dreams, and they're saying that their parents are in support of whatever that they've chosen to do.
I am also quite inspired by these future doctors and neurosurgeons, as is Maxwell Agbagba. Still watching Joy News today. Let's make way for business with Emmanuel Abajiriafi.